where I'm going to be sharing another great recipe that I believe your family is going to fall in love with. It's one of my favorites, and what we're working on today is Salisbury steak. So, as you may know, Salisbury steak originally made with beef and mushrooms and onions. So how are we going to put this together using our Epicure products? Well, it's going to be simple. The first thing you're going to need is, of course, a pan. I highly recommend our saute pan. I love the depth. I love that it's non-stick, and it goes stove or oven. So it is currently on sale. Grab it while it's available, and it's available all year round. But if you really want to be that savvy consumer, have a social with your friends, get it at half price, or take a look at these offerings that we have currently on our website. To do this, we are going to, of course, chop up some onion, and I will be using our mandolin. The mandolin comes with 4 different slicing options. I've actually got the one that slices, and you may see that I've got the nice tangs in here that are going to dice at the same time. We're going to use our finger guard, and what we're going to do is we're just going to slice up an onion. How easy was that? Okay, now what we're going to do, set that aside. We've got our onion, and you can see sliced and diced. How easy is that? And that took seconds. How many of you instead are chopping up your onions by your knife and potentially having tears and crying? Why would you when you can do this? With our saute pan here, we're going to be making our meat and cooking up our mushrooms. And our meat today, yes, I'm going to be using our beef stroganoff for the seasoning part, but I'm not putting beef in it. As you know me, I never follow instructions. Today I'm using ground chicken breasts, and we're also going to use our wintry mushroom soup. Our onion, we can drop that right in there. And now we're going to go into our beef stroganoff package with our 4-in-1 spoon. You can see the flavorings inside here, and we're going to use, and I'll explain why I'm using this, but I'm going to use a couple tablespoons of the mix so that I can get some really nice flavoring. So why did I choose this? Well, listen to the ingredients that are in here, and you'll totally understand how you can take a package that maybe says something and convert it into something totally different. So it's got onion, cornstarch to thicken it, bind it, mushrooms, garlic, paprika, herbs, sea salt, flavoring, and black pepper. Exactly what I would probably want. We're going to now grab our, well, you could use beef if you prefer. I'm actually using ground chicken, as I said. Dropping it into our dish, and we're just going to mix this. Now, if you want to make this go a little further, by all means, maybe use our crispy, crunchy coating, especially if you're using ground beef. But I find that with ground turkey or ground chicken, it binds so well without, you don't need it. The other thing that you may find you may want to use is, if you wanted to, you could throw in an egg. But as you can see, as I'm mixing this, and I'll put it closer to the camera in just a quick second. Just want to make sure I've got lots of flavor all the way through. You can see that this binds very, very well. On medium-high heat, we're going to wait till it heats up a little bit. We've got a little bit of oil in here, and if you want to sweeten it, you could put some butter. Not necessary. So what do your portions look like? Well, it really depends on your family. If you've got littles or it's adults, it's really up to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to make some sort of patties. A patty for an adult that's about 4 ounces. So there you go, flavoring and all. So make sure you do not put it in your fry pan until you get the heat. You do not want to put this in a cold frying pan and have the oil just sit in. I actually thought Salisbury steak had to do with Salisbury, Austria. Go figure. What would I know? It's not. It was created by a physician. All right, so let's get these in. Can you hear it sizzle? So how this came to be is there was a doctor, his name was Dr. Salisbury, of course, and he actually created this recipe, not at home, but as a way to defeat digestion problems. Yes, it was a remedy for digestion, and I'm thinking, how does it become a remedy for digestion? Well, back in the day, way back, we're talking World War II, people were malnourished. And because of the rationing of meat and everything. So he came up with minced meat. And there you go. It was named after him because it was helping the soldiers not have dietary issues and allowed them to gain weight. So yes, I guess it is a remedy for digestion. I'm just going to flip this over. I'm using our flipper here. And you can see I did not put egg in here, but can you see it's not falling apart and it's browning really nicely. What I love about this is it does have a nice, sharp, narrow, thin edge that actually will get underneath your pancakes or in this case your Salisbury, because this is good up to 425 degrees heat. So it is what you want. So make sure you look for this in our catalog. I had mentioned that I would show you what I do with my open packages, because if you've been watching my cooking classes, you know that quite frequently I will not use the whole package following the recipe that's on the back of the catalog, but instead I will use a portion of the package. So these are clips, you can call them bag clips. But if you want to save money, what I found that works really good is these are clothespin clips. And you can buy them on sale for a fraction of the price of the bag clips. And then I just seal it like this. And I have a trusty little drawer that I keep things in. So you can see I've done this a few times before. Our Salisbury steak is now cooked. So we are just going to make sure we put this aside in a clean bowl. And you'll notice I'm using my 4-cup prep bowl, but I cleaned it because it had raw meat prior. So make sure that you don't make the whole family sick. Okay, so set that aside. Now it's time for us to get the mushrooms going. Now do not clean your pan because there's really nice brownings on there. Add a little bit of foil in there. I had chopped up some onion earlier. Remember, you saw that? So I'm going to add some onion. We're going to mince, have that minced and cook that down a little bit. And now we're going to add our mushrooms. So the mushrooms I'm using, I've sliced these by hand. And these are cremini mushrooms. Cremini mushrooms I love, love, love. They are exactly like your white mushrooms or your portobellos, but they're just in a different stage of maturity. And I love these because they're dried out a little bit more, so that means it's got a stronger flavor. Of course, most of the moisture is removed from it, so it's a lot meatier texture. And I find they just don't fall apart, but they add great intense flavor. They're brown mushrooms, they might call them, instead of creminis. Same thing. Use them because the flavor is fabulous. We're making our sauce, and I like sauteing this and basically getting rid of extra moisture. If you're using white mushrooms, because that's the only thing you can find, you will find that this process takes longer because there's so much more moisture inside a white mushroom. Sweat it out, and I like it so it starts maybe getting a little bit of color on it, because then I know I'm getting that nice umami flavoring. So what we're now going to use is our wintry mushroom soup. This is a seasonal item. So when you find you are making mushroom sauce or wanting to make a nice dip, make sure you grab these. These are packages sold in sets of 3. You may want to make sure that you have a couple sets at least, to carry over until they're back again. So when your mushrooms have sweated it out a bit, and I don't want them totally browned out and dried, I actually tell my mushrooms are ready because I see a little bit of sort of almost like a gravy on the bottom already because of the liquid and of course the meat being cooked in there. I am now going to sprinkle the entire package on my mushrooms. Oh, I can smell all the flavor already. I sort of like coating them really quickly. Don't spend too much time because you don't want this burning. And we're going to add our liquid. Now I'm using an oat milk, but if you prefer, you could use almond milk, you can use regular milk. And all we're going to do now is cook this up a bit so it thickens, and then we're going to put our meat in. So get your plates ready. This is going to come together very quick. Because I only put 2 cups, and I should have mentioned how much liquid I put in there. That was 2 cups of liquid. It's going to reduce really quickly, and it's going to get a nice flavor. So grabbing a clean spoon. Oh, yum. Now, it can be a little more liquid than you want because what we're going to do is to make our Salisbury steak, we're going to put our chicken back in to the sauce and let it coat our chicken and flavor it. Guys, I sure wish you were here to eat this with me. So I've reduced the temperature just so you're aware. Originally I was cooking the mushrooms at medium-high heat. I've got it at medium now because all I want to do is I want to just get the heat back into the meat that I had set aside, and I want to slowly thicken the sauce but not cook it to the point where it's dry. You're going to grab your lid, set it on top, and go get your plate ready. Our Salisbury chicken steak is done. What do you think? Looks delicious, right? Well, it even looks better when you add it to a plate with a little bit of veggies. So there you are, friends. We've made our meal. Chicken Salisbury steak with beef stroganoff, wintry mushroom soup, our saute pan, of course, some kitchen utensils like our 4-in-1 spoon, our flipper, and here's your results. Yummo. Thanks, friends, for watching my cooking class. We'll see you back again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.